The story of Boston's debut album is one of innovation, persistence, and raw talent. Tom Schultz, the mastermind behind the band, had a vision that defied industry norms. While most bands at the time were eager to record in professional studios with high-end equipment, Schultz took a different approach, creating the iconic debut album in his basement. This unconventional method not only set Boston apart, but also created a sound that would become synonymous with classic rock. Tom Schultz's journey began in a modest basement in Massachusetts. An MIT graduate, Schultz had a technical background and a keen interest in engineering. While working at Polaroid, he used his spare time to build a recording studio in his basement, investing in equipment that allowed him to experiment with sound. This dedication to his craft led to the creation of demos that would eventually attract the attention of record labels. Schultz's basement studio was not your typical professional setup. It was described as a tiny little space next to the furnace in this hideous pine-paneled basement. Despite its humble appearance, Schultz's technical expertise and innovative approach allowed him to create a unique sound characterized by multi-layered guitars, soaring vocal harmonies, and melodic hooks. After years of experimenting and recording demos, Schultz's work finally caught the attention of promoters Paul Ahern and Charlie McKenzie. They played a crucial role in connecting Schultz with Epic Records, which eventually led to a record deal.
If we could go downstairs, I'd love to see what it looks
absolutely.
like down there now.
Is this the same? I'm just curious if the rack...
It didn't have the carpeting on it.
Scholz worked on music in this basement at night.
I used to have to duck every time I came through here.
While employed as a newly minted MIT grad at Polaroid.
There were days when I didn't make it into Polaroid on time, well, most days actually. I was a horrible employee. I put a wall, a little simple wall from here to here, right where the curtain is.
Scholz bought used equipment and modified it to suit his needs, designing his own devices to match the sounds in his head.
I actually had to invent a lot of stuff that didn't exist. That's when I put it there.
You put it there?
Yeah, I can tell.
Really?
I can tell because it's got masking tape around the edges.
With the exception of vocals and drums, Scholz recorded the entire album himself. His challenge, to make his overdubs sound like a real band.
I would actually close my eyes, blank out that I was in the basement of an apartment house in Watertown, and I would literally imagine I was in front of thousands of people playing this rock and roll music, and it worked.
CBS Records didn't realize Scholz had no band when they signed him. Even the late Brad Delp, enlisted to do the lead singing, didn't realize there was no band.
He found out about 10 years later. It had been just done by one person, and he didn't know that.
However, the journey was far from smooth. Epic Records insisted that the album be recorded in a professional studio, but Schultz was determined to maintain control over the production process. Producer John Boylan played a key role in finding a compromise. He suggested sending the rest of the band to Los Angeles to record with a different producer, while Schultz stayed in his basement to work on the music. This plan allowed Schultz to retain creative control and work at his own pace, leading to the creation of the debut album in his home studio. Schultz's approach to recording was unique. He played almost all the instruments on the album, except for drums, played by Sib Hashian, and vocals, provided by Brad Delp. This multi-instrumental approach allowed Schultz to experiment with different sounds and layers, creating the distinctive sound that would define Boston's music. The recording process was intense and time-consuming. Schultz took a leave of absence from Polaroid to focus on the album, waking up every day to work in his basement studio. Despite the pressure to re-record the demos in a professional studio, Schultz's determination paid off. The multi-track tapes were eventually sent to Los Angeles, where Delp added vocals, and the album was mixed by Boylan. Boston's debut album was released on August 25, 1976, and quickly became a commercial success. It reached number 3 on the US Billboard 200 and remained on the chart for an astonishing 132 weeks. The album was certified diamond, selling over 17 million copies in the US alone. The lead single, More Than a Feeling, became a massive hit, propelling the album to new heights. The album's success allowed Schultz to quit his job at Polaroid and focus entirely on music. The distinctive sound created in his basement studio set a new standard for rock music, inspiring generations of musicians to come. Boston's debut album remains one of the best-selling debut albums in rock history, with over 25 million copies sold worldwide. Its success is a testament to Schultz's innovative approach and determination to create music on his own terms. The album's unique sound and production techniques continue to influence rock music to this day. Despite initial mixed reviews, the album has since been recognized as a classic of the rock genre, with tracks like More Than a Feeling, Peace of Mind, and Foreplay Long Time becoming radio staples. Schultz's basement studio, where it all began, stands as a symbol of creativity and resilience in the face of industry pressure. The story of Boston's debut album is a reminder that sometimes the best music comes from the most unexpected places.